Hey guys, Lordicus here with another achievement guide for Scorn. This is for 4 achievements that you can get in the last act. This is for 0, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Act 5 is going to take you roughly half an hour to complete if you follow my walkthrough step by step. It's a little longer than the other acts because you do have a long boss fight that takes anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Other than the fiddly boss fight, the rest of this act is fairly easy to complete. So once we've gone upstairs and into the temple, we're going to bear left here and go through this archway. We're going to go down 1 flight of stairs and exit into what looks like a chamber with 2 pregnant bodies. First of all, we're going to need the vial from this first body on the left, so interact with this, and then once we've got that in our inventory, we're going to go down the steps and straight ahead. At the end of this corridor you'll find a terminal where we can insert the vial. That'll open the door beside us and voila, we enter what is the boss room. There's a few steps before we trigger the boss. First of all, let's get some ammunition from this station here. For most of the boss fight we'll be using the melee weapon, but there is on the second phase an opportunity to use the shotgun, so we'll be using that. Once we've got the ammo, let's head over to the medic bay and top up our heals. It always comes in handy during a boss fight. Now that we're stocked up on ammo and health, we'll just turn around and pick up this egg on the table. On the on side of this room there is a mechanical skeleton or body which we can insert the egg into. Fortunately, this skeleton doesn't have any legs or arms, so it's not going to hurt us. All we want to do is then switch to our melee weapon and kill the egg and the fetus inside. After a couple of seconds, you will then be able to loot or pick up the fetus. Once we've picked up the fetus, we now have to go back to the terminal just outside this room. So turn around and take a right through this corridor, insert the fetus into the terminal, and this is going to be slightly disgusting, but crush the fetus into the vial, which will fill it up completely. Now that we have the vial, the gate next to us will open and we can turn to the chamber. What we have to do here is then insert the vial into that same collection point that we picked it out of earlier. This is going to feed the body and create a little plant or root on the forehead of the body. That's one of the 2 bodies complete. We now have to do the same to the other body on the left hand side. Unfortunately, the vial is now empty, and the only way to fill said vial is kill another 2 fetuses, and these guys will fight back as they do have upgrades. Okay, now we need to head back into the boss room, putting the empty vial into the terminal at the end of this corridor. To start the boss fight, we need to then collect this second egg and place it in the robotic body on the other side of the room. I would advise healing up fully before you start this, because this is quite a lengthy boss fight. In terms of the mechanics for the boss fight, he has both melee and a ranged attack. If you go too near him, he will punch you and it'll deal quite a lot of damage, so we try to stay at range. The ranged weapon he's using is some sort of grenade launcher. He usually fires between 2 to 3 shells, and those will explode on the ground wherever they land. What we're going to do here is just run around the room until he runs out of ammo. When he reloads, he does become vulnerable, and like a sack hangs from either side of his body. Once these sacks are exposed, we're going to use the melee weapon that we have in hand already to pierce these sacks. And once both sacks have been destroyed, we'll move into phase 2. So I'm just going to run around the room here, try my best to avoid the explosive damage. He can hurt you with direct impacts as well, and then while he's reloading there, you'll see a purple sack hanging from the side of him. All you need to do is poke it once with the melee weapon. You need to do this twice on both sacks, so 4 hits in total. He's now reloaded with some more grenades, so we're just going to run around the room until he's exhausted all ammunition, and then he's going to go down on his knees again and reload and expose those sacks. Just rinse and repeat until both sacks are destroyed. This is the 4th and final blow on the sack, which will destroy both sacks. He'll fall over, which gives you time to change to your shotgun, because on phase 2 we want to pierce the womb or the fetus on the front of his chest, and it's best doing this with a ranged weapon, ideally the shotgun. He's going to be on his hands and knees here, and then he's going to lay out his grenade launcher. This gives you an opportunity to interact with it. Unfortunately, you can't pull it off, and he stands back up, and we go into phase 2. The only way I found he'll expose his chest is when he goes for a melee punch. So what we want to do is run around the room until he's run out of grenade launcher ammunition. In phase 2 here, he doesn't reload until he attempts to punch you. So I found the best method of doing this is sprinting close by him until he goes into his punch stance. You have like a 50-50 chance that he will expose his chest. So if he exposes his chest as he's about to swing a punch at you, you can shoot it and it'll stagger him. If he doesn't open his chest and goes for a punch, you need to move away quickly so you don't get hit. Once he's finished the punch sequence, or you've shot him in the chest, he'll then go to reload, and we run around the room again until he's run out of ammunition. Rinse and repeat this 2 more times, and then it should kill him and you'll receive the fetus. This is our final blow coming up here to the chest or the womb. He's going to stagger around the room a little bit, and then once he settles, he'll fall over and the fetus will fall out. When we interact with the body, we'll get both the grenade launcher on his arm as well as the fetus. We now need to carry the fetus back outside to the terminal. Unfortunately, this won't fill the vial completely. We'll need a third fetus, which is a second boss fight. This next boss encounter is slightly different in the fact that once the guy runs out of ammunition, his back will open, and then we can use the grenade launcher to land a grenade in his backpack and kill him outright. It's a little quicker than the first boss, which we've just done here. To gain access to the third egg, we need to open the gate. The only way to do this is stand on the platform here to the left and then launch a grenade launcher round through this window, which will in turn break the mechanism and open the gate. And then all we're going to do is what we've done twice already, pick the egg up and place in the robotic structure or skeleton at the end of the room. This is going to start our second boss fight. The mechanics are very similar. Just run around the room until the boss runs out of ammunition. And when he goes to reload, his backpack will open on his back. And then we need to launch a grenade launcher round in said backpack, and it'll blow the boss up. So the boss is now out of ammunition here, and his backpack will open, glowing bright red. Just launch a grenade launcher round in there and boom, there you go, done and dusted. A lot easier than the first boss encounter. All we need to do now is pick up the fetus, put it into the vial and exit this area. Now that we've got a full vial, we can then leave this zone and then attempt to return it back to this second body. But unfortunately, the parasite has taken hold and our left hand is unusable now. We can't grasp any inventory items or use any devices. So there's another gameplay mechanic come into play here, where you have to clean or purge the parasite from your left hand to use anything. So for example here, we'll attempt to use this and nope, can't. My hand is covered. So we can't do anything else in this room. So we need to go back outside and move to an adjacent room where we can get our hand cleared and move forward with the story. So we'll go down this stairwell into a new room. Here we can still use our grenade launcher, so we can stand on this pad and open the window, fire a grenade launcher around in there, and it'll open the gate beside us. With the gate open, we can now wander through and bear right. There'll be a locked gate that requires the key code. We do have a level 4 key code, but unfortunately we can't use our left hand unless we put our hand in this device, which is going to rip off those roots and vines and allow us to use our hand briefly. You can only use your hand for roughly 10 seconds before the vines or the roots grow back on your hand and you can't use it again. If this happens, you'll have to return to one of those terminals and pull them off again. Once through the coded gate, we then come into this room where we have to stand on a platform. We can still use our grenade launcher, so the key here is to launch it into the window at the end and open the gate. Unfortunately, there's obstructions in the way, so you have to wait for a window of opportunity to launch it. Once you have a gap, launch it through there and it will open the gate in front of you. This will allow you to upgrade your key to the maximum level 5. Unfortunately, our hand's covered up again, so we have to go back to that last device that we used previously, remove the roots and the vines, and then we can go and get the level 5 key. Now with the level 5 key, we can go back into the main room behind us and open the level 5 door. Again, we'll need to use one of the extraction devices to pull off the roots and vines on our hand. I'll show you the closest one here to the left. In this room, we're going to find an extraction device, which is going to remove the parasite from our body. Again, we'll need to remove the thorns and vines from our hands before we can interact with the extraction device. So we're going to backtrack to the same terminal we just used before opening the door, and then return to this extraction device. As we climb into the device, the camera angle will change from an outer body perspective. All we want to do is target the claw on the back of our neck to remove the parasite from our body. Once extracted, that will unlock the 009 achievement, which is called Extraction. Now we need to make our way back to that chamber which has the second body that requires the fluid. Unfortunately, the gate behind us is now locked, so we have to go the long way around outside of the structure and back in. All we need to do is tootle along to this console, plug in and open the gates. Once we've got the gates open, we have a bit of a walk to get back inside the building. So just follow my route and that'll be the most efficient and quickest way to get you back inside. Now that we're back inside the temple, we're going to hobble down one level to where those two bodies are, and the body on the left that was missing the vial. We're going to input the vial, which will then lift us up to the top floor. Now that we've inputted the vial of liquid, the achievement 010 will pop, which is called Fluid Flowing Within. Once we get to the very top of this lift, we want to do a 180 and turn around and enter the device behind us. At the end of this procedure, achievement 11 will pop, called Perception Beyond. Once we get up off the table, you'll notice in the bottom left you now have the ability to switch. This allows you to switch between two forms or bodies. The pregnant form that we're currently in now needs to go back to the surgeon behind us and interact with him. That'll pick up your corpse that is currently in the surgeon's arms, and you can then carry him up the stairs. The other form, we need to then go over to this console on the right hand side and extract a key into his wrist. With that key, he'll then be able to open this door and then switch back to the pregnant form and carry the body or our corpse through the very end door at the end. We now have a fairly slow walk with our body to the top of the stairs. At the top of the stairs, in front of the door, you'll find a pressure plate that we need to stand on. Once you stand on that, there'll be a long walk sequence followed by cutscene, end credits, and then you'll get achievement 12, which is called Finn. I hope you found this video guide useful. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.